Hey y'all, this is Courtney with Just Nurse Court, and I am on this evening to kind of give you a little update. I wanted to show you an update on my seedlings that we started together a couple weeks ago. So, kind of some bad news. They're not doing so hot. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with them, but I think that it's either one of two things. It's either I overwatered them and there may be potential some root rot going on. I didn't think I was overwatering because I was not watering them daily by no means. And I would try to make sure that the soil was not like super wet and then go ahead and water anyway. So I don't think it was I honestly don't think it was due to watering over or under watering. But about a week or so ago, so we started about a month ago, and then about a week or two ago, I started noticing, really probably within the last week, week and a half, that they were starting to dry up and wilt. So they put on their first leaves, and then they were starting to put on some true leaves. And it was after that they put on the true leaves that I kind of noticed the difference in them. So anyway, I decided to replant my seedlings about 3 days ago because I want to hopefully try to grow some this fall. And so I'm kind of getting down to the wire that if these seedlings don't make, I don't know if I'll end up having a fall garden or not. So we shall see. But let me just show you the seedlings so you guys know what I'm talking about. So here are the first rounds of seedlings. And as you can tell, see, they've just got brown and just not doing well. Now there's a couple of the cabbages over here, this one here, and then the one in the very back there, that still look okay. So I am still watering these. So I think that those two particular cabbages were ones that I planted, like they came up and didn't survive. Well, actually, they didn't even germinate. That's what happened. So they didn't even germinate. So I replanted those, and then I replanted this cauliflower. And this cauliflower is maybe going to be okay, but I'm not sure because the edges are already starting to look like they're starting to wilt. So, and as you can see, that one just barely putting on like initial leaves. So this one here, we've got its seedling leaves and then true leaves on those two. So I don't know if they're going to survive or not, but everything is just wilting. I did notice that there's a little bit of white stuff on top of the soil, so I don't know if that is like a fungal thing going on. So I don't know. You guys give me some tips. Like I was trying not to overwater, and um, so I don't know. I don't know if it was me and overwatering or me not watering enough. Like this soil is pretty dry, so I do need to water. And then this here is still kind of moist, so it's kind of crazy how some of them are dry looking and some of them are moist. So I need to go ahead and probably add some water in here because the bottom tray is completely dry. So I don't know if these are going to survive or not, but as you can see, that's the state of the affairs with the seedlings. So I got nervous that everything was not going to survive, and so I restarted. And I restarted these about 3 days ago, and I came out this morning and removed the dome because we had them pop up above the soil. So, um, and I think the soil still feels moist, so I don't want to overwater these. So I don't know. You guys give me any tips. So like I said, these here, I washed them with soap and water, and then I sprayed them with peroxide and then rinsed them off before I filled them with the dirt. This tray down here, I totally forgot to do that. Um, I had done that in the spring and had all my trays and everything was great. And then on this batch here, I just rinsed them off and threw soil in them and away we went. So I don't know if well, and then I also opened up a new bag of soil. So it could be soil maybe wasn't good because this was hanging out from last year. So that could be possibly it. It could have been because I failed to sterilize the containers and wash them out. Or three, it could be from over or under watering. So I don't know. So we're going to, at least the one thing that I did, two of the things that I ruled out was I put in a fresh bag of soil and then I sterilized these. So if it's my lack of watering or underwatering and these do the same thing, then I'm going to have to figure out my watering system. So anyway, but I just wanted to show you that. But these little seedlings here, I don't know if you can see down in there, but I still got some water down in the tray. So I don't want to water. I did water them, I think, yesterday. I do need to water these down here because they are dry and there is no water really down below at all. So I do need to water those. So I am not sure exactly what's going on with the seedlings, but I wanted to just show you guys the little update there. And I even fertilized these because I thought, oh no, maybe it's like a lack of fertilization and there was something that they were needing. So I put a little bit of my Fox Farm that I have up there. I just put like a half of a cap full and or if even that much, in my watering container there. And then I even tried that, and then I just put it and bottom watered it. So I don't know. If you guys have any tips, tricks, let me know. I know that not very many people follow me right now. So, but if anyone in the future watches this and you guys have any ideas on what maybe caused that, let me know because I definitely want to know. So, all right. Well, so we are going to run outside. So I've got a few things to do in the garden this evening, and I thought that maybe you guys would just like to come with me. So it's going to be kind of a little mix of things. We are going to, I'm going to grab my little harvest basket first off because I need to harvest some green beans. And I think I'm going to actually harvest my green stalks first because, so I'm going to set you all up here so hopefully you can maybe tell you. I have this new, there, I think that will work. And that way you can see me. Yeah, perfect. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to put my gloves on and then we will check out and see if there's any green beans on the green stalk that need harvested. I think there's probably a few. And then I'm going to try to harvest my green beans out in my garden. I've already kind of taken my things out there. And then we are going to plant green beans in my beds where I dug up my potatoes. So I actually dug them up. I was going to film, and then we ended up doing it one evening, and I was like, I didn't. Honestly, it was kind of late. It was like a last minute thing, and my parents came over and they were like, we'll help you. And so, yeah, so I didn't end up filming at all. So I'm just going to set that little basket right there. And we're going to see if there's any green beans. I know there's just a few that are probably ready to pick. Trying to let them get a little bit bigger, but some of these up here I think are pickable. So we'll go ahead and do it. And then what I've been doing is just picking the few green beans that come up ready, and then I end up freezing them and putting them in the freezer. And I found these new little freezer bags that I can use with my little hand vacuum sealer that I use to seal my mason jar lids for like my dry goods and stuff. And it worked beautiful. And it's like an open, like a resealable bag, if that makes sense. So you can open it and close it and reseal it. So yay. Let's see. Some of these, I don't know if they're going to get much bigger, so I'm probably just going to go ahead and pop them off. So we had kind of a cool front move through over this weekend. Actually, today is a Sunday evening, and I thought I better pop out here and get some of this stuff taken care of before. I guess I won't send my bag all the way, or my basket all the way around. But I thought I better kind of get to some of this stuff before this next week because it's going to be heating back up and it's cool this evening. So yeah, I think this evening is the perfect, well, cooler, I should say. It's not cool, but it is cooler. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and try to get to the rest of these green beans, and then we'll go out to the actual garden. I think there's maybe a few on here. Sometimes when it gets in the heat, sometimes these green beans just don't do great. So I got a handful, and we'll go out and see if there's any out in the actual garden. So let's go and see. So it has been a few days since I've done a garden tour, and we're not going to do that specifically this evening, but you guys are going to get a little update since we're out here working. But my squash, they're doing okay. The squash bugs are definitely here. They are here. Yeah. So I was out here earlier this afternoon actually, and trying to do a little bit of catching of the squash bugs. But I don't know. We'll see. I actually have a zucchini or two over there that I think may actually make. So I don't know. Definitely my green beans are looking not so hot right now, which is okay. I mean, I've had a good harvest. They are blooming, so we'll see if we get a second round on them. But I've had a harvest from them, so it's okay if they don't make a whole lot more. But I wanted to show you the little zucchini down here. I think right down there. I think that one's going to survive. And then there's a little one over there. If it does, it's got a flower on it. And I see one back in there on the other plant. So I don't know. I'm definitely getting lots of yellow squash and the white patty pans. Oh, I do have a yellow patty pan that I think is actually going to turn out. And it is hiding right down in there. So that's my first yellow one. So I'm really anxious to get that one. So, okay, so I got my little goodies. I got my little bucket, and I got my seeding square. I didn't get my seeds. Well, all right. We're going to have to go back in the house and get the seeds, but let me see if I can prop you guys up here. Okay, guys, I'm back. I think you can see me here. So, I went and got my seeds. So, hopefully this is enough. I may have to go in for a second pack, but I think it's 175 seeds in here, so I think we should be good. But I am planting the jade bush beans. I like the jade bush beans a lot. I've heard some other brands are really good, so I may try them. But not brands, but varieties like Strike. I've heard that one's a really good one. So anyway, right now, jade does really well for me, and so that's what they have, a pretty long green bean typically. So that's what we're going to be planting. And so I'm going to be planting them out in the bed in the back where I had my potatoes. So I pulled all my potatoes out. And so you remember whenever I talked about, I think I have showed this in a garden tour, but my potatoes, especially the red ones on the front half of the bed, that I kept noticing like there was something on the leaves. I think it was blight, because whenever we dug up the potatoes, the red potatoes had a lot of like, they were almost like holes, like black spots. And luckily it didn't go all the way through the potato, and mostly I could just peel the potato and cut a few little bad spots out, and most of the potato was still okay. So that part was good. There was a few that were completely rotten and I had to pitch them. They were soft and they weren't any good, but a lot of them were still okay. But I think I had some kind of maybe an early blight or something like that on the potatoes. Not sure, but I think. And so my Kennebecs did much better. I think there was maybe only one of those potatoes that had a little bit of that. But I had about a little over 9 pounds of Kennebecs and a little over 8 pounds of the red Pontiac is what I grew back here. So I ended up, I think I averaged it together, and I think I had somewhere around 16, 17 pounds of potatoes from the garden bed back here. I would have had probably closer to 20, if 18 to 20, if I wouldn't had to have thrown away a few of the red potatoes. So live and learn. I probably will only do Kennebec next year, but my grow bags, actually I had 20 pounds come out of those. The potatoes were a lot smaller, but I did still get a pretty good yield out of them. I had bigger potatoes out of the beds, so I still think I'm going to do grow bags next year. And I think what I'm going to do is just to be curious. I think what I'm going to do is maybe do all of like Kennebecs and then do Kennebecs in my garden beds and then Kennebecs in my raised beds and then compare that way. Because that would be like the true comparison. Because I had 3 different varieties. There was like a white potato, a red northern, I can't even remember, a Yukon Gold. So I just had 3 different varieties up front. And so it was hard to really do a comparison whenever you weren't comparing head to head. So I think next year I'm just going to get Kennebecs and we're going to go head to head and see which one does better, grow bags or garden bed. I definitely had, like I said, bigger potatoes. So I'm curious to see what next year's potato harvest might do. And I'm not going to do the red Pontiacs because I had a bad crop of them this year. And it could be because of all the rain that we had, because we did have a ton of rain in May. So it's very possible that it was that. I don't know. But anyway, so that was the update on the potatoes. So my plan is to, now that that bed is empty, I'm going to plant a fall crop of green beans in that bed. So, but first off, we are going to go around and try to pick some green beans. So let me get my little stool here. And I know that we've got a few. So we're just going to start here. And don't you love my get up? Got my Sunday best on and got my garden boots and my garden gloves. I decided I didn't want to change because this dress is super comfortable. So got it off of Amazon. And yeah, for like 20, one of them was on sale for $20. Some of them were like 25 or 26, but overall they were very reasonable, super comfortable, love them. Well, that green bean fell off, so I guess that one's not going to grow anymore. So we definitely have blooms. I'm just trying to see if I can get any that are big enough to be picked before. I'm hoping that the bugs don't get to these and or the heat, but some of these aren't doing that great. They'll get like the big bean in the middle and then it's kind of hard to see with the sun shining in over here. I know it's just going to be a handful if there's any. But we'll go ahead and grab. Some of these aren't super big, but I'm going to go ahead and get them. Because, yeah, like that's got spots. That one there just needs to be thrown away. There's going to be several of them that are that way, I think, now. My first batch, they did really good. They looked really good, but I don't know if they've got some kind of blight on them or bugs or what, but some of, yeah, these are definitely got some spots on these ones here that we didn't have before, so I'm not sure if I will get much out of these. But I'm just going to go ahead and pull them because that way they're not taking energy from the plant. And I'll take them in and weed through them. Okay, I think we will go around to the other side here. And sometimes when it gets super hot, beans don't do the best. So that's why I'm going to try again. All right. Well, I didn't get a whole lot. I didn't add much more. And some of these that I did get have got spots. So we will definitely be going through those, but I'll add them what I can to the freezer. So, okay, let me do two things. I'm going to add in, because potatoes do take a lot of nutrients out of the soil, and I didn't do any kind of amending, because I just put new bags of soil in and then planted the potatoes. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of plant tone in here, and then see if that will kind of amend the soil a little bit. And then we're going to plant the green beans. Okay, I'm just going to sprinkle some of this in. I'm not going to go super heavy. Okay. And I have, that just splattered in my face. Plant tone in the face. I have some fertilizer coming in from M.I. Gardner. I am curious to try his, but I don't have that in yet. So, and I'm just going to kind of mix that in a little bit. And next year I will plan to get some more soil. So I didn't have, of course, this was my first year to have my beds, and I spent like $600 worth of soil just to be able to fill these garden beds halfway full. So raised bed gardening to get going is not cheap. I'm just saying. So I definitely had to prepare for next year, and I'm going to have to save some money because, yeah, I was not prepared at all for such a large expense. So what I was going to show you guys is this is the little, so I did my gardening pretty much this year, mostly with doing the square foot gardening method. And so I ordered this little thing off of Amazon. It's a seeding square, and it comes with this little planting guide and then the actual seeding square itself. And so for bush beans, you plant them in the yellow spots, which is actually 9 plants per square. So that's how I did this green bean garden, was following that method. So we are going to do the same thing. And I guess what I'm going to do is show you guys. I know you're wrapped around up here, but I'm going to bring you with for a second. Maybe. Okay. So I'm going to bring you with just to show you kind of how this works. So what I did is I will go through here and kind of push this down into the soil and kind of see my marks a little bit. You can kind of see. And I kind of do this down the center of the bed just to kind of give me a kind of a guide initially. And then, as you can see, I didn't have at the very end. So it's not perfect because these beds aren't square. They are rounded. So I just do the best that I can with it. And then when it comes to the corners, like that little corner up there, I just kind of put some more down. But I kind of just lay this out just to give myself kind of, like I said, an idea of, and then I will go, and you can actually put this down and then drop your seeds down, which is probably what I will do. Just kind of, but I wanted to kind of show you. Okay, so we'll start back here at this one, and then let me set you guys up right here if I can. Okay, then you can actually watch me do this. Okay, so you just put them in, and I actually have too many there. I'll have to take that out when I remove the square. You put one in each of the yellow holes. Okay, and then there should be 9 beans per square foot, roughly. Okay, so you kind of can see. Now I'll put my gloves back on, and we're gonna bury the seeds. But you can kind of see there, the seeds there. I will kind of show you the whole little garden bed. So there you go. That's the view of the whole thing kind of from up above. You can kind of see all the little seedlings. So now I'm just going to go in and poke them all down and get them all ready for watering in. So here we go. Okay, So I think I have them all buried. So now we are going to water them in. And then we have got our fall beans planted. Yay! So that makes me happy to have this little project done. So let me take all my little goodies back up here. And we are just going to water the garden. So I know I said goodbye out in the garden already, but I wanted to just show you because I had talked about this, and so I wanted to show you really quickly. Um, so this is the bags that I found on Amazon that are freezer vacuum bags, and then basically it's like a Ziploc, so you can zip it, unzip it, and then add more beans to it. So these are washed and ready to go. So I'm going to just set you guys up here, and I know you can't see me completely, but we'll just maybe set you up a little bit. There, we'll kind of set you down so that way you can see this and that. And then this is the little tool that I have that I also purchased off of Amazon. It goes on top of mason jars, and there's two of them for wide mouth or regular mouth. And then this is the little vacuum sealer. And so this is what you just put right there, and then it's battery powered, and then you just turn it on and then it'll vacuum seal it up. So what I'm going to do is I've kind of went through some of my beans. I got rid of most of them because they had just kind of like rust spots on them. But I'm going to pick these, snap them, keep the ones that I think are keepable, and then we will put them in this bag right here, and I will show you how to do that. So we're just going to snap these beans up. So yeah, so thought this video was going to end out in the garden, and then I thought, I mentioned this, so I might as well show you guys the little tool, and then that way you guys can go check it out on Amazon. I don't know, that's full of rust spots. I guess it's rust spots. I'm not sure. They're little brown spots. It doesn't look like rust or like bug damage, but that's like a completely hollowed out bean. So right now I'm just using what I can of these. These are definitely not the first crop. So I'm just thankful for any few extras that I get to come in when it is hot and summery outside. And last year, what I did is I was growing green beans in my green stock, and so they came in little bunches like this all summer long. And so I just saved them, put them in. I just put them in freezer. That's completely hollow. Freezer Ziploc bags, and um, and that worked just fine. And then I ended up having a few more that I added in already this season. So I had 3 like little quart-sized zipper bags, Ziploc bags, and I canned them up the other day. And so I got those out of the freezer. So this is all of this year's extra beans that I've gotten come in since I already did my little bit of canning from the ones that I had in the freezer. So anyway, but I thought I would do it again and just save them a little along. And my plan is probably if I get a fall crop coming in, then what I will do is just add these to my fall crop and get these canned up. So, okay, so these little beans are washed, snapped, ready to go. So you just do that, and then that gets the air back in it. And then you just toss these little beans in. And it takes a minute to get the little vacuum thing right on the right little spot. And you have to make sure that this is good and sealed, because the last time I wasn't getting it to close, and that is why. They're sticking here to the paper towel. Okay, so now what we will do is just seal this down really good. Make sure that that is all the way sealed down. Okay, and it should be. Okay. And then, so you just put this right over that and then turn it on. And there it goes. It's starting to take the air out. And then once it vacuum seals it up and then gets that air out, you can kind of hear it makes a little bit of a noise, and I think it's got all the air. So then you just turn it off, and there you go. And now these are all vacuum sealed, and so that will just help them keep them fresh a little bit longer. But anyway, isn't that such a cool tool? So if you don't have, I do have a vacuum sealer that I do when I'm doing big batches of stuff. But for these little green beans, this is working perfect as these are coming in from the garden, because I just need to keep adding to. And then look, here's my first big tomato of the season. It looks beautiful. And then this one here I thought was going to be so great, and it definitely probably had a little bit of bug damage there. So I'm hoping that maybe I can get it to ripen and I might be able to save some of it, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, all right, guys, this truly is goodbye. I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.